Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Zaron Burnett, we meet again.
So good to see you.
So good to see you.
What brings you to headquarters today?
I just want to hang out here, Story.
That's great. You know what's ridiculous?
I do.
No, you don't.
Listen here, bub. A couple of things you need to know about me.
Oh, yeah? I got a pen and paper. Go on, tell me.
1, I like tooled leather.
What?
2, I like tacos. 3,
Oh, my God.
I like gardening.
I'm so afraid these things are going to be mashed
Now,
together.
one of those is just a fun fact, but the other 2
Yes.
are what I'm going to talk to you about today. And let me also just say that I found out about this before all of the rude dudes started sending messages.
Look at you.
This came into my Instagram feed, and it was like a chill ran down my spine.
Yeah.
And my pupils dilated, and I was like, oh, God. Because 1, it's awesome. 2, I knew I was about to be inundated, and everyone's going to forward me. And that's what happened.
Did they?
Because I can always depend on the rude dudes.
Dudes are good like that.
They deliver.
They all seem to hate me.
I had maybe like a 24-hour lead on it.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Wow, girl in the
Algorithm. So anyway,
You're busy on the go lifestyle. Instagram's like, we're going to hit you up early, girl.
Exactly. You gotta be in it to win it. So there's this dude, Guillermo Cuevas of Done Right Leatherworks.
Sure, why
He's
not?
a master craftsman.
I believe
He's built one-of-a-kind pieces, one of one for people like Kendrick Lamar.
I like him.
Yeah, me too. And Glenn Powell. Is he one of those Top Gun guys?
Yes, he was in the new Top Gun, the Maverick one.
I ask you this all the time.
Yes, I know.
I'll see some white guy with like dirty blonde hair, like brown.
Top Gun?
I was like, "Is that the Top Gun guy?" And you're like, "Yes," every time. And
he's also in the Running Man, the new Running Man remake they did.
He does the Running Man.
He is the Running Man. It's not Tom Cruise, surprisingly.
Really?
Who's known for his running,
pumping his little arms and running his little legs. Anyway,
yeah.
So this Done Right Leatherworks, they got together with 2 companies, Venmo.
Okay.
And that's not the cool part.
Oh, really? You got to tell me that, sister.
The cool part.
Yeah.
The third in this triad is Taco Bell.
Okay.
And they created
I'm losing count.
a
Go on.
taco holster. And
Lord
it's
almighty.
a blue tooled leather. And I'm going to show you a picture, which is really obnoxious for those who are simply listening. But if you go onto our Instagram feed on the day this episode comes out,
there will be.
and you go into the stories, there'll be a picture. Or you can just Google
cozy
taco holster. And
calling it a holster is being really generous.
Well, it has to do with this like cantina chicken taco thing they got going on. Now here I was like, oh snap, this came into my feed. I'm about to get a taco holster. I'm so excited. And I had to keep it to myself. I told my dogs, I was like, you guys, you're never going to believe this.
Mama's getting a taco holster.
Getting a taco holster. And then I looked it up and I found out that you only had one shot to do it.
Oh.
One day.
Just one shot. Like
at one time, 2 to 3 p.m. Pacific time, which I love that they're doing it Pacific time. Show some love.
Yeah, exactly.
November 18th. November 18th. I missed it.
This passed.
Yes. I flipping missed it.
And you got the 24-hour head start.
Yeah, but I didn't get the blue taco holster.
Darn.
Tooled leathers, Aaron.
Where is the justice?
Because the thing I mentioned gardening, because like you can eat your taco while you're gardening. And then when you're done, you put your pruning clippers in there.
Oh, sure. Why not?
I mean, it's that time. It's coming into winter. It's time to do some pruning.
Pruning, yeah. With all the gardening I understand to know how it goes.
It's ridiculous.
A taco holster.
Elizabeth, you're ridiculous. I know, dude.
A leather tooled taco holster. Brought to you by Venmo somehow.
I mean, do they do this on purpose for me and then not give me one?
I feel like the world's conspiring against me when you do these things.
I feel like they're just teasing me. They're showing me cool stuff and then never materializes.
You do seem to miss out, except for the couple times where the rude dudes have come through for you and like sent you things. Like, but it seems like often you miss out on the timelines. Like they let you know too late.
Yeah.
Like who's winning these things? How do you stay up? It seems like it's insider trading.
Taco Bell insiders.
Like you gotta have a Taco Bell connect.
Yes.
Who's your plug at Venmo?
Yes, in the marketing department at Venmo.
Yeah.
Suckers.
Well, do you know what else is ridiculous?
No.
Okay. Well, let's say you are like overextended financially, right?
Okay.
And so in your desperation to get back on firm financial footing, you make a plan with these two shady dudes from Miami to blow up a bridge in Africa.
Wait.
The question is, will that work?
Yeah. I don't know.
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder-free and 100% ridiculous.
I'm at the edge of my seat.
I know, right? It came in hot.
That was good.
Elizabeth, this one I'm going to tell you today is a wild one.
It sounds like it.
Like when the stories of this first hit the headlines, the FBI agent who released the announcement of the related arrest.
It was all hear ye.
Well, he says, and I quote, "When I first heard it, I thought it was fantastic. It was almost like a dime novel. Fantastic. But it happened."
He's using fantastic in the proper usage.
That is true,
fantastical,
right?
Yes.
And another word that we've lost that used to be used in a similar circumstance was terrific.
Correct.
Yeah, like it was like, anyway.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
This description, his description rather, is accurate. This is 100% like the plot of a dime novel or like some knockoff American James Bond story.
I love this.
Yeah. Now, Elizabeth, before we get into today's show, I need to ask you two questions.
Tacos and gardening.
I'm skipping past that. One, have you ever seen the movie The Bridge on the River Kwai?
Long ago, yes.
Okay, cool. That helps.
I was an extra.
What's your third favorite scene?
The Kwai.
So, as you know,
the whistlings.
The whistling, yes.
Yeah.
Can you favor us with a piece?
I can't hit the high note. There it is. This is going to be really obnoxious.
Totally.
On the
now,
playback.
As you know,
Sorry to everyone with dogs.
Or driving in a car.
Or
just has headphones in or earbuds.
Or who, they've triggered because of previous catcalling.
True.
You ever walk down the street and you had a construction worker whistle the theme song to the bridge on the river Kwai at you?
No, I have not.
It's really
but
damaging
I've been
to the
construction
psyche.
worker who whistled the bridge on the river Kwai.
That's cool.
At various mail people, postal carriers. Anyway, I often quote this movie, Elizabeth. Well, one line in particular. After the star, William Holden, he manages to escape a Japanese prisoner of war camp that's located near the border of Thailand and Burma. And after he braves the endless jungle to make it back to rejoin the Allies, he's nursed to health at this British hospital camp, right? And while he's convalescing there, he's approached by this British commando who's putting together a crack team to blow up a bridge. The very same bridge that the prisoners of war were building. Mm-hmm. So the British commando, he wants William Holden, who's the star, to show the team the way to the bridge. But having escaped, William Holden is not at all interested in going back.
Sure.
He's like, "Are you kidding me? Do you know how hard it was for me to get out of there?" But the British commando doesn't care about any of this because he informs William Holden that the U.S. military has loaned him out to the British. So these are orders. It doesn't even matter what his opinions are.
Yeah.
At that point, William Holden, horrified by this development in the plot of his life, he's like, trying to argue his way out of it, and the British commando, Major Warden, played by the strapping British actor Jack Hawkins, says my favorite quote, which is, "I know how you feel, but there's always the unexpected, isn't there?" I tell myself that all the time. There's always the unexpected, isn't there?
Yeah.
So it's a very helpful quote, at least for me. So keep that quote in mind as I tell you this story. Mm-hmm. Okay, question 2. What do you know about the nation of Zambia?
You know what? I'm going to confess, not a whole lot.
Okay, well, that's fair. Zambia is a landlocked nation in the basically southeastern Africa. Mm-hmm. Its name comes from the Zambezi River.
Right.
The nation is, you could say south central, southeastern Africa. It's bordered by Angola to the west. Mm-hmm. It has the Democratic Republic of the Congo to its north. It's got Tanzania to the northeast, Malawi to the east, Mozambique to the southeast, Botswana and Zimbabwe to the south, and Namibia to the southwest. It's essentially ringed by other countries.
Yeah.
So just like the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Zambia is also a resource-rich region, especially the north.
Okay.
And its leading export is copper. But since Zambia is landlocked, in order to get the copper out of the country and onto the world markets, the copper producers rely on railroads, or at least they did at the time of this story.
Sure.
Which brings us to the story I want to tell you today.
Nice.
Let's start with the man at the center of this story of saboteurs and copper price manipulation. His name is J. Aubrey Elliott.
Okay.
He's originally...
I believe you.
Oh, totally. No, I mean, like FBI will tell you a different name, but that's only because...
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you look at the FBI's reports on this, they have like doubling all these names. And you're like, why would you do that to us, FBI?
What? They had like a code name, like a fake name?
Basically, yeah. And so you had to go to like the New York Times and a bunch of other contemporaneous reporting to find out all the real names. Marissa and I had a hell of a time trying to like compare the names and match them all up. But she did a fantastic bang up job.
Is she not like one of the most incredible human beings?
The best. Absolutely the best. So J. Aubrey Elliott, he's originally from Scarsdale, New York. And as the New York Times reports at the time, his father, quote, was said to be a member of the United States Consular Service. So that means he's basically an embassy type and
CIA.
He's internationally minded.
Yeah.
Anyway, Elliott, much like his father, bit of an adventurer. As a young man, he leaves America in the early 60s and he finds work as a boat captain and as a professional diver.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess.
Exotic.
Right? A lot of fun. I mean, I guess you're getting weird jobs that way. You know, like, oh, I need you to do professional diving or captain my boat to the Antilles.
I feel like those days are over, but is that a long gone time? Or can you still have that kind of life?
Totally. You can still be like a frog man, you know? And it's also very international, the most interesting man in the world, you know,
Totally.
It's like, oh, what are you? I'm a skin diver. I'm a licensed boat master. I mean, it's just, yeah. Anyway, so I guess this guy, Elliott, he could captain yachts, charter boats, whatever you got, right? So by the mid 60s, he's working in ports and harbors in Curacao. And in April of 66, Elliott is 32 years old. And at the moment, he happens to be in nearby Aruba, which is where he meets an older man named Rolf Dunbier. And when I mean older, just by a few years, just older than him.
Okay.
As his name suggests, Rolf Dunbier is a German national, but he's been naturalized as an American citizen.
Okay.
For a living, Rolf works as a vice president of the Friedrich Zollner Corporation, which is a German metals company.
Okay.
So the two men, they meet in Aruba. They're like, oh,
Aruba, Jamaica, I want to take you.
Exactly. Like, let's have some drinks and talk about the Beach Boys, man. So they get to talking. And apparently they hit it off because Rolf offers J. Aubrey Elliott a new job. According to a story from the Guam Daily News.
Can we also talk about how great Guam is?
Yes, I've never been there, but I've heard good things.
Me neither, but
I like
heard
the
it's
people.
wonderful.
So Rolf hires Elliott to, quote, locate underwater wrecks from which brass and copper could be salvaged. So he offers Elliott $500 a month plus expenses to dive for these salvageable metals. Nice,
that's pretty cool.
Right? Nice pay for some hard work. So he's basically, in the Caribbean looking for sunken boats, and then people have either crashed while they're drunk or like not like old Spanish Main kind of crashes, a little bit younger than that.
He is the forebearer to the early aughts speed freaks who pulled copper wire out of church HVAC systems
Pretty
in the
much.
South.
Yeah, just
pretty much.
with more scuba gear.
Yeah.
So things work out well for their partnership. A few months later, Dumbier asks Elliott to fly to Europe to help him purchase a boat they can use to salvage wrecks and harvest metals. Elliott agrees. He flies over to Europe to help the dude buy a boat. However, when the two men meet up in Amsterdam, his boss, Rolf, has got bad news. He's like, man, I don't have the funds to buy a new boat. And the boat deal, it's off. And so Elliott's like, well, why did you fly me over here?
Yeah.
He's like, I got a new deal for you, Elliott. I want you to go to Africa.
That sounds like a bait and switch.
Yeah, I want you to help me buy a boat. I want you to
Come
go to
on,
Africa.
let's go buy a boat.
So Elliott is like, Africa, huh? What's in Africa? And so his boss, Rolf, explains that the price of copper has recently plummeted and he's screwed, like personally screwed, financially screwed. He's looking at a lost fortune unless he can do something to get the copper prices back up. And since the copper price is down, that also means it's no longer economically feasible to pay Elliott to go and salvage copper. So he's
Sure.
Elliott's like, are you firing me? Like, I don't understand.
what is
Are you
this?
sending me to Africa? Because I was like, what's going on? His boss, Rolf, is like, no, I have a plan of what to do. But it's also the only work he has for him. So he's like, this is the plan.
That's right.
So Rolf says he needs Elliott to go to Zambia and help him influence the price of copper. And Elliott's like, how am I supposed to do that? At this point, his boss, Rolf, tells Elliott his big plan. He informs the professional diver and boat captain that he wants him to go and blow up a bridge in Zambia.
I thought he was going to have to stand there and like raise his eyebrows over and over again at the copper, like influence it. Like, come on, man. Make yourself more expensive.
So, like, Elliot's like, why? Because, as Rolf explains, after the U.S., Zambia is the world's second largest producer of copper.
Huh.
And as Elliot remembers it, Rolf Dumbier said that the, quote, world's copper comes out of Zambia, and there's only one railroad that comes out of Zambia. I'd like to blow up that railroad.
God.
Elliot is like, okay.
Right.
And then his boss, Rolf Dumbier, is like, so do you know any saboteur who can help you blow up a bridge in Zambia? And Elizabeth, when you're a globetrotting adventurer like my man Elliot, you meet interesting people.
You sure do.
So Elliot thinks it over and he's like, I know a guy.
He's like, this will make a great story later, years from now.
This is going to buy me so many drinks in a bar in
right?
Aruba.
Exactly. I'm taking this to the Seychelles.
When he says, I know a guy, he says there's this Israeli he knows who'd be the perfect saboteur to help blow up a bridge in rural Africa.
Now, do you know any perfect saboteurs to blow up a bridge in rural Africa?
I will say I actually helped a person blow up something once. He was a former Marine and he needed me to help him, and I did help him.
So you're the guy that someone calls.
I do understand how these stories can
I
turn
don't
out.
even know. I have no idea who I would even begin to. Like you. I would call you.
Call me, yes.
I'd be like, okay, Zaron.
I know a guy.
We got a problem.
I can't believe you brought that up. Yes, or that I brought it up. But I think the statute of limitations is long gone, so we're good. Anyway, the bridge Rolf has in mind to sabotage spans the Kafue River, which is this tributary of the Zambezi River. Mm-hmm. The bridge was constructed in the early 20th century, back when the British were running things, and it gets completed in like 1906. It's this steel cantilever bridge, or as engineers would describe it, a steel girder truss bridge.
Oh, okay.
Which just means that there's all these steel beams kind of creating triangles that hold the bridge rigid, since it needs to support all those train cars loaded down with copper.
Right.
So think like, local bridges, it'd be like the Richmond Bridge or like the railroad bridge that crosses the Carquinez Strait.
Sure. That Richmond-San Rafael Bridge is like on its last legs.
Oh, yeah.
I used to have to drive over it often. And
yeah, that's why I picked that one.
Kept my fingers crossed the whole time.
You know it well.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So this bridge over the Kafue is about 1,400 feet long, or about 427 meters.
Okay.
So it's like, a third of a mile. The bridge was built back in the colonial period and was owned and operated by the Rhodesian Railways from 1927 to 1966.
So we're talking Rhodesia.
Oh, yeah, because the Rhodesia is right. Basically, there was Northern Rhodesia and Southern Rhodesia, and that was part of this, was part of Northern Rhodesia.
Yeah.
But up until the 60s, when you have the wave of independence go over Africa, and all of a sudden these former British, French, and colonies are now independent. Well, this also happens for Zambia. So this newly independent Zambia takes control of the bridge, and they make it part of their new Zambia Railways. Now the bridge becomes this vital part of the newly independent nation's copper industry. Since copper is Zambia's leading export, it's key to their economy. They're on their own now. And the bridge, quote, forms the vital link over which 2/3 of Zambia's copper production travels, which amounts to some 58,000 tons a month. So,
50, whoa.
Yeah, this massive amount of copper is then shipped to East African ports and into the world market. So Rolf Dumbier tells his salvage man, Elliot, yeah, we need to blow it up, right? So obviously this will deal a catastrophic blow to the Zambian economy.
Right.
It is their primary export. It is like they're a new country on their own.
Yes.
But get this, Rolf doesn't give a feather or a fig about that because he just needs the copper prices to go back up before he loses a fortune.
Oh, boy.
That's all he cares about.
Yeah.
You see, Elizabeth, Rolf Dumbier has been playing the copper futures market, and he's heavily invested his corporation's money. And so in the summer of 66, copper prices plummet. They fall by about 50%.
Whoa.
I'm talking real plummeting. Yeah. So which means the German metals company, Friedrich Zollner, is looking at losses of like $1 million on the London Metal Exchange.
Sure.
Which would be about 10 million in today's dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
So in case you recently forgot how the futures market works, Elizabeth, spectators buy futures contracts that then stipulate a contract wherein they will buy a commodity in the future at a set price. But let's say if the copper price plummets, this means that the speculators paid way too much for their futures copper contracts, and when the contract comes due, they will lose a bundle when they then try to sell the copper on the market.
Oh, okay.
So Rolf Dumbier and his German corporate partners, they need the copper price to come back up quickly, like before their futures contracts come due. Plus, there's also a secondary benefit, which is if you manipulate the market, you can also buy futures contracts at the lower price. And then let's say you blow up a bridge in Zambia that drives the price up. Now you make a fortune when the price of copper gets jacked up. So Rolf Dumbier is now looking to make money coming and going.
Okay.
He's going to protect the fortune he may lose and then make a fortune off of this insider trading that he knows about with the blown up bridge.
Greed.
So if he goes full on the bridge on the River Kwai, he can avoid losing a fortune and also gaining one. So back to Elliot. His boss, Rolf, offers him $50,000 to blow up this key bridge.
That's a lot of money then.
So
it's a lot of money now.
Totally. With their agreement set, Elliot gets to planning the demolition. But as my man Major Warden said in The Bridge on the River Kwai, there's always the unexpected, isn't there? So let's take a little break, chill out with some ads, and after these messages, we'll get into the unexpected.
Yes.
We're back, Elizabeth.
Yes, we are.
You ready to dive into the unexpected?
Born for it.
Good. Okay, so it's September 1966. J. Aubrey Elliott and Rolf Dumbier, they take a trip together to Zambia to do some scouting. They, want to do some recon.
Yeah.
So they also want to make some connections. So apparently, according to contemporaneous news reports, Rolf Dumbier speaks with somebody he knows, and he asks his contact to, quote, report conditions affecting copper production. And also, Dumbier, quote, was especially interested in interruptions in transportation.
Now, why was the price plummeting again?
I do not know.
Oh.
The market fluctuations, because America is the leading producer, and then Zambia is the second one, and for whatever reason, the market plummets.
The market, she is fickle.
Yes, she is. So as Dumbier reportedly...
I honestly thought maybe you said it and I forgot.
No, I never said it. It wasn't really important to me in the research, because I'm like, I know how markets go. It could be
up
something.
and down. Buy, sell, buy.
It plummeted. There you go. That's all I know.
Yeah, look up.
So Dumbier reportedly, quote, left some items stored in this individual's home. One item was an attaché case containing 6 sticks of dynamite and some detonator caps. Also left were a German-made shortwave radio and a pair of shoes.
Oh, I love the pair of shoes.
Same, right? I love how this sabotage materials list ends with a pair of shoes.
Plus a pair of Keds.
Like, were they special shoes? Like, like how moonshiners used to wear those shoes that would
that
leave,
made it look weird footprints.
Like animal footprints, like, a cow walked here.
Well, I'm just wondering, were they like, how Mr. Rogers, he's out in his city shoes.
Yeah, and then he comes
home and he's got to put on his tennies.
Yeah.
Was that what these are for? Is this like those are your bombing shoes?
Oh, I was also wondering if they were like expensive designer shoes, like the old Pope, used to wear.
Oh, yeah.
The one who
the Prada slippers.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, he's German, right?
It could be like, I want to feel special when I'm putting the dynamite out, so I'm going to put on my fancy slippers, my high heel sneakers. Or they want to get into like some comfy shoes, or like maybe dance shoes.
There you
so
go.
They're a little, light on their feet.
Light. He's like, I've got your little dance skins.
Legs Diamond over here is going to plant some bulbs.
Elizabeth, I wish I had answers, but all the reporting says is a pair of shoes.
A pair of shoes.
So the mystery persists.
My mind, it races.
Anyway, after their recon trip to Zambia, later that same month, September of 66, J. Aubrey Elliott and his wife, Violet Elliott, they take a trip to Israel.
Okay.
Why Israel? Great question,
Why not?
Elizabeth. They visit Israel to see what's what with saboteurs.
Wait.
You see,
there's like a booth at the airport.
Well, you have to understand, Israel, like in the 60s, they're going through it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they got a lot of experienced people when it comes to like blowing things up and like, like building a gun out of the stuff in your house,
Yeah.
So you see, Violet was a former Israeli citizen who'd become an Austrian citizen, but apparently from her time in Israel, she knew experts in demolitions.
Okay.
So as it turns out, Elliot, when he said he knew a guy, he really meant my wife knows a guy. She knows, saboteurs, experienced Israeli saboteurs. It's cool.
Sure.
So if
All
Elliot
right.
is going to do this job, he's going to need a team of them, at least like 2-3 of them. So his wife's like, okay, I know.
3 to 5.
Possibly. That is
3
the
to
number,
5
3
guys.
to 5. Really, if you're going to do it right, you need
or
3
like
to...
a litter of saboteurs.
So he's like, my wife can help me get this litter of experienced Israeli saboteurs. So they're bouncing around. When the couple hits Israel in September 66, they pose as tourists. They take in the sights. They enjoy the food.
That's a crazy time to be in Israel, P.S.
For real. And they're over there enjoying the culture, the food, whatnot. Meanwhile, they spend their time trying to recruit a team of demolition experts.
Oh, God.
And so as they're asking people, do you know any experienced saboteurs to help my
in the
my
marketplace
husband blow up a bridge? And they're bouncing around Israel. While they're on the slide, they're trying to like ask contacts she knows. Hey, have you been to Africa? Do you want to go to Africa?
Like just the people at the next table as they're eating dinner.
And I don't know if you know this, Elizabeth, but if you're bouncing around Israel asking people people you barely know if they will help you blow up a bridge in Africa to influence copper prices, eventually you will come to the attention of the Israeli security forces.
Yeah, I would think so.
Which is exactly what happens.
Yeah, those I heard they don't mess around.
Oh no, they're really good about like you want to blow up what, where, when, and they're really
like,
known
"We're
for
in."
it. Yeah, well, no, just like they're known for like they don't want people like causing international incidents. They also don't want people like getting out of pocket, so to speak. So, according to the Jacob Rader Marcus Center of the American Jewish Archives, Box 54, Folder 3, after, quote, learning that Elliot was trying to recruit former experts in explosives among friends of his wife, Israel started clocking everything they're doing. So now as they're bouncing around Israel looking to hire a team of saboteurs, they're also getting followed by the Israeli security forces. I guess the Israeli security forces were not subtle, or perhaps someone let the couple know they're being watched. I don't know how it went. Either way, Elliot decides it's time for him to dip out before the Israeli security forces have a chance to arrest him.
Yeah.
But get this. He leaves his wife behind in Israel.
Oh, you're kidding.
He's like, honey, you're on your own. You speak the language.
It sounds like she can take care of herself.
I'm guessing he's assuming they won't arrest one of their own. Elizabeth,
guess.
boy, is he wrong.
Oh.
The Israeli security forces, quote, moved in and arrested 4 Israelis and Mrs. Elliott. All 5 are released on bail after being charged. So, yeah, now we're into October. So at this point, his wife's arrested. The Israeli saboteurs are out of the picture. So Elliott reports back to Rolf Dunbier that the Israeli demolition experts that he was approaching for the bridge job had, quote, passport troubles. So he buys himself a little time. He'll need to find some new guys to blow up the bridge.
I want to use that as my excuse for like everything in my life soon.
Passport troubles?
Be like, why didn't you do that project? I don't know, passport. I've been having passport troubles, you guys.
I know a guy. He's having passport troubles.
Have you finished your outline for this week's episode? Well, back off, man. I got passport problems.
I'm dealing with the State Department. So the good news is he tells Rolf Dunbier, I know some other guys.
Oh.
Yeah, they're Americans. So you see, he tells his boss, Rolf, I know these guys who are boat captains. They're skin divers in the Miami area. I'll go talk to them about blowing up the bridge. I'm sure they'll be interested. And I love how he doesn't give up on the bridge demolition job, even after his wife is now arrested.
Yeah.
And he's going full on like wannabe CIA guy trying to hire random dudes in the Miami area to help him with his international intrigue.
He needed to go get himself an abalone diver.
See, but then he would have gotten it done. He wouldn't have been on this show.
That's so true.
Unless he got the wrong one, like Frank Sinatra Jr. times. And then he would be on the show. Either way, the American guys he knows are these 2 licensed shipmasters and skin divers from Miami. Their names are Philip Armstrong and Paul Woodburn Caudell.
Okay.
He offers them half the money, $25,000, to help him pull off this demolition job. The 2 men, they're sensible about it, and Elliot says to him, no, don't worry about it. He'll even allow them to, quote, abort the entire project if it appeared that there was a possibility of the loss of life.
So they got to split $25,000.
Yeah, so like $12,500 each.
Yeah.
But they're like, don't worry, we're not killing anybody. We'll do it early in the morning. We don't need to like have the train fall in. We just need to have the train not be able to cross the bridge.
Right, okay, yeah.
So they're like, okay, but we just don't really want to kill anybody. We're not murderers, man. I'm a skin diver.
They're like, have we done an environmental impact report on this?
Where's the steel going to go?
What wildlife will
Are
be
we going to be
impacted?
ruining the Zambezi?
Yes.
So one of Africa's great rivers.
Think about it, guys.
So his plan to get into Zambia, or for them to get into Zambia, is simple. The 2 Miami skin divers are to, quote, obtain visas to enter Zambia under the guise of being freelance photographers and to visit several other places before and after Zambia to firmly establish their alibi.
Huh.
Just like definitely some CIA stuff.
So
tell them you're a freelance photographer. You work for Life magazine.
Like, I just am suspicious of skin divers.
Yes, from the Miami area.
Freelance photographers.
This is smart, yeah.
Adventurous boatmen.
You're a savvy woman in that regard.
I really, really am.
Now, to make these dudes believe the job is legit, Elliot offers Armstrong $2,500 as an advance on the job, and he offers Caudell $1,000 as an advance. So the 2 Miami skin divers, they go for it. So Elliot goes back to Rolf Dunbier, and he's like, I need the money. So Rolf takes him to a bank. He pulls the advance money out of his personal account. Rolf gives Elliot an envelope of $4,500. He's like, give this to the Miami skin divers.
It's on the envelope.
Yes. So now the Zambia plot is in full motion. All they need to do now is get together their bomb-making materials and ship them to Africa. So the team of saboteurs
from like DHL.
Yeah, right? They work out the details of their plan to blow up the steel bridge, which I can't imagine is an easy structure to bring down. So in the bridge on the River Kwai, they ring the supports with a bunch of dynamite and they wire it to a detonator that's like got a push bar box.
God
right?
bless it.
Like
I
the
love
kind
that.
in the old cartoons where
Don't
the
you
miners.
love that? I love
I'd
that.
love that. So these guys.
I want one of those.
They aren't going to use.
That's how I turn my Christmas lights on.
Old push bar detonator. These guys, they aren't going to use the old push bar detonator. Instead, they plan to use a, quote, 24-hour non-electrical timing device.
What, like a alarm clock, a bedroom clock?
Yeah, what we refer to as a 24-hour non-electrical timing device would be a clock. That would totally meet the description. So this
like one of the ones with the bells on the top.
Yeah, ding, ding,
ding. Yeah.
So this team of saboteurs, they want to set up the dynamite, and then they can travel and be hopefully hundreds of miles away when the dynamite goes off. Or they can be out of the country, or they can at least be doing their freelance photography thing.
They don't want to hide in the bushes with like a little walkie-talkie thing that just has a green light and a red light.
Yeah,
and then you cut to on the bridge, like the time going down like all quickly, and it goes back and forth between them. I'm just making the movie in my head.
I like it.
Actually, I'm making it like an 80s TV show.
Well, it is very like MacGyver, but I like it.
Like A-Team.
Or A-Team, yeah, really more A-Team.
Yeah.
So in order to get the dynamite into Zambia, that's going to be tricky, right? Because people kind of monitor explosions being sent on plane. So the team of saboteurs come up with a rather simple plan to ship it. They're all about simple, these guys. They decide to buy the dynamite in the U.S. and then ship it to Zambia. Their idea is they can hide the dynamite in, wait for it, the cabinet of an air conditioner. That's a really big thing to send over.
That is a huge thing. I would just send crates of quote-unquote fireworks.
Or like candles. These are candles.
Yeah, votive candles. Fireworks.
So they're
just say, I hear you guys wanted to have like
I think you have to special paperwork for that. It raises questions, right? So they don't want any pain-in-the-neck customs officials to take an interest in what they're shipping to Zambia. An air conditioner, that seems reasonable.
That does seem
right?
reasonable.
And it shouldn't raise too many questions. And so the saboteurs are like, we don't need one air conditioner. We're going to need two air conditioners.
Yeah, I think so.
So as the New York Times reported, quote, they plan to purchase 2 identical air conditioners of sufficient size. One would be sent without modification as a dry run. Now, to make sure it all goes off without a hitch.
That's not a bad idea.
Back to the New York Times. Elliot would be in Zambia to receive it and observe its handling by customs officials. If it passed without close examination, the 2 Florida men were to go to Zambia, and the other air conditioner with the dynamite packed inside would be shipped. Now, as we've already noted, for their timer, they're going to use essentially a clock. Well, Elliot's like, okay, I need to find something like a clock. So he goes looking for a 24-hour non-electrical timer. He goes to like a local hardware store. He comes up empty, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, well, what about a clock? So he goes and that's what he uses. He uses, quote, 2 old wind-up clocks, which could be modified. Boom, done deal. Bomb making done.
Done.
So,
check that off the list.
So since the question of the timer and the detonator and the bomb is now sorted, all is left to do is to source the dynamite and ship it to Zambia.
Yeah.
Back to the air conditioner units. On October 29th, 1966, the 2 Miami skin divers turned saboteurs, Armstrong and Caudell, quote, purchased 2 large air conditioners. One unit was shipped to Elliot in New York. The other unit was to be delivered by car to New York by one of the men after the dynamite had been packed inside the cabinet. That's a fun drive.
I was just going to say.
Driving from Miami to New York with
the beads of sweat coming down.
Totally.
Wow.
Air conditioner stuffed with dynamite.
Full of explosives.
Now, once they get paid their advance money, Armstrong and Caudell, they go out and they buy $15 worth of dynamite. But not just any old dynamite, Elizabeth. They buy special waterproof dynamite.
Dynamite XL.
The kind of dynamite used commercially to blow up underwater wrecks.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're skin divers.
Yeah, they know about this stuff, right? But
sure.
if you, like me, get hung up on the part of $15 for dynamite, like even in 1960s prices, that still seems like that's not enough to take down a steel bridge.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah,
not a whole lot.
Admittedly, I don't know about the prices of special waterproof dynamite, but it just doesn't sound like enough. But
no, not at all. And I do feel like I would accidentally buy road flares. I don't know why that just came into my head, but let's go back to $15.
Like someone's going to rip you off with fake dynamite?
Yeah, totally. That's what would happen to me. We had road flares in the car as a kid.
I remember them,
when I first saw them, I was like,
They're red.
Crap. oh crap, Grandma's got dynamite in the car. Like, be careful, everybody.
If you move these caps, they blow.
Yeah, she may have to sabotage things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't ask questions.
She was
of
an
Grandma.
international woman of mystery.
She really was. $15.
Yes, of special dynamite too, not just any old
Did you
dynamite.
do any calculations how much that is today?
No, I did not do.
$5 million.
No, I did not. Do you want
I
me
just
to?
did it really quick in my head. No.
Okay.
15, that's not enough.
No, it was just so little. I was like, that can't be much. I mean, it can't be much more than a few $100s tops.
It's like a stick and a half.
Yeah. So with their plan set, the materials procured now, the detonator and dynamite all worked out. They got the alarm clocks. They've got their $15 of dynamite. They've got the air conditioning units. All that's left to do is to ship it all to Zambia and blow up this bridge.
Is this why we're talking about them? Because they only spent $15.
But wouldn't you know it, Elizabeth, this is exactly when fate with a capital F steps into the picture. And speaking of pictures, I'd like you to close your eyes.
My eyes are closed.
And I'd like you to picture it. It's November 2nd, 1966, a Wednesday, and you, Elizabeth, are currently busy at your day job. At night, you spend your time working on your one-woman play about the disappearance of Amelia Earhart. You've struggled with the title, but right now you're calling it Lindbergh Who? Meanwhile, at your day job, you don't often display that same sort of irreverent sense of humor. Why not? Because you work for J. Edgar Hoover. That's right, you're a G-man, or rather you're a G-woman. And you are a special agent of the FBI. At the moment, you're at the Department of Justice building in Washington, D.C., where the FBI is currently headquartered, which means you're currently listening to the familiar background sound of an army of typewriters as you dream of the day when you'll have your own office. And that's when you hear it, the sound of an incoming message on the telex machine. Connected to the secure phone lines of the FBI, the telex machine is essentially the precursor to a fax machine, begins printing out a confidential message. Since you're the closest agent, you push back from your desk chair squeaks against the floor, then your heels count out the rhythm of your walk. At the telex machine, you have to wait for it to finish printing, then you tear off this most recent message. Since you have clearance for this particular telex machine, you read who it's from, as well as the body of the message in order to ascertain who you should take it to. Your eyes widen as you read the message. Is this a joke? It can't be. It's a cable from the U.S. Embassy in Israel. The State Department boys aren't known for their sense of humor. This must be real. You hastily walk down the hallway to a corner office. Your heels once again tap out the rhythm of your walk. At the corner office, which belongs to the superintendent of your section, you knock on the door with a firm yet insistent hand. The gruff voice of your boss says, "Come in!" You do as instructed. As the door swings open, he looks up from the file he's perusing to meet your eyes. You pause in the doorway. Again, he instructs you, "Come in, come in." You approach his desk, but do not take a seat. In an all-business tone, you tell your section chief, this cable just came in over the telex machine from the U.S. Embassy in Israel. But it's not about Israel or the Arabs per se. "That's good," he says, relieved. You tell him it is dire, though. You hand him the printed-out message. Your boss has a habit of humming to himself as he reads, which he does now. It doesn't take him long to read the message. As soon as he's done, his improvised humming stops. He looks up to you and asks, "Is this real?" You nod in the affirmative and say, "I believe so." He sighs, then asks loud, "Why would the Israeli security forces send us this?" You reply, "Well, as far as security services go, Shin Beth isn't known to play practical jokes, sir. Nor do our embassy boys in Israel. I think it's the real deal." Your section chief's eyes return to the printed-out telex message. He begins to read it aloud. "Contacted by friends from Shin Beth, the U.S. Embassy was handed credible evidence that there's a plot to blow up a railroad bridge in the Republic of Zambia in Africa. The date of planned demolition is November 18th of this year. Please inform Director Hoover there are multiple Americans suspected to be involved in the plot. At present, the American conspirators are believed to be stateside." As soon as he's done reading the message aloud, he sighs again and then asks, "Why would the Israelis know about this?" You're quick to answer, "I don't know, sir, but they're good." Your section chief looks up and asks, "A bridge in Zambia? What in God's name is there in Zambia?" Now, you've read a lot, you keep up on current events, and thus you're somewhat familiar with the newly independent nation of Zambia and are aware of its main exports, so you rather confidently suggest, "Sir, it may have something to do with copper production." "Copper?" Your boss replies, as if this is the first time he's ever heard of the metal. "Yes, sir," you answer. "It's their chief export. As well, Zambia is landlocked, so they use train cars to ship the copper. Recently, copper prices have plummeted on the commodities market. How do you know all of this? Your section chief asks. Do you follow the copper market, Agent Dutton? It's been in the news, sir. Your tone is respectful of your boss's ignorance. Okay, then I guess this might make sense. Take this over to the Africa desk and see if they've heard anything about blowing up a railroad bridge in Zambia. Yes, sir. So there you go, Elizabeth. This is how the FBI learns of this CIA-style plot to destabilize an African nation.
God.
But the FBI doesn't immediately act on it. They're not even sure if the Israeli-supplied info is accurate. The Bureau determines that they need to do some digging of their own. Luckily, they have time, at least a couple weeks. But turns out they don't need that much time because the very next day, on November 3rd, 2 Miami skin divers, Armstrong and Caudell, fly north to New York. They visit the Big Apple, looking to meet up with Rolf Dumbier to get the visas to travel to Zambia. The two men, they meet Rolf Dumbier in the lobby of the building that houses the Zambian mission to the United Nations. Rolf shows up with his two round-trip tickets to Zambia, and then also he's got some more advance money for the job, and the two men are supposed to hand that over to Elliot.
Yeah.
And at the building that houses the Zambian mission to the United Nations, Dumbier and the 2 Miami skin divers, they apply for their Zambian visas. The men show their round-trip tickets, and in order to process their paperwork, they leave their U.S. passports. Then the 2 men say goodbye to Rolf Dumbier, and they head back to the airport to fly back home to Miami that same day. Round trip, boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
When they land, the 2 Miami skin divers, they call the Zambian embassy to check on the status of their visas and to coordinate their travel. The 2 men are informed, your visas have been denied.
Oh.
You see, the Zambian officials were also briefed by the Israelis about the plot to blow up a bridge in Zambia. And I don't know if the Zambian officials were they kind of let it on to the 2 Miami skin divers, how much they knew. Maybe their tone was just cold or whatnot. But either way, the 2 Miami skin divers, they recognize something ain't right.
Yeah.
So they decide, rather than wait for some G-men to come around asking questions, they'll go to the FBI themselves and tell the Bureau what all they know about.
Get ahead of it. Get ahead of it, boys.
So they go and they tell them all about the plot to blow up a bridge in Zambia to raise the international price of copper. And when the 2 Miami skin divers show up at the Miami field office, the FBI is like, go on.
They're show up in their puka shell necklaces and a loincloth.
Yeah, totally.
Just tan. And
leaving sand
bronzed.
on the carpet everywhere.
Yes.
So
yes.
The Miami agents, they report to headquarters in D.C. what they've heard, which confirms what the Israelis told the Bureau just the day before. So now the FBI springs into action. Okay, Elizabeth, let's pause this action.
Yes.
And we'll take another little break for some ads. And after these messages, we'll dive back into this tale of international mystery and see if there's more of the unexpected to come.
I see what you did there, dive.
So where were we?
Diving.
Right, Zambia. So the FBI has stepped into the picture just days before the planned operation to blow up a key bridge in Zambia to artificially raise the price of copper around the world. Now, since our 2 Miami skin divers, Armstrong and Caudell, not only tell the G-men all about the Zambian plot, they also tell the FBI where they can find Elliot in Miami. So the FBI agents take a drive over to where Elliot is staying.
Yeah.
At the time, he's laying low at a motel, and the FBI shows up at the motel, knock, knock, knock. When the door opens, boom, just like that, Elliot's worst fears have come to fruition. Hi, we're at the FBI.
Sure.
So now, Elizabeth, this all happens on November 3rd, just one day after the Israelis informed the FBI about this plot.
Wow, they act fast.
Yeah, Elliot doesn't know about any of that part of it, so he tries to play it cool, act innocent, act naive.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, what do we always say about what to do when the FBI is asking you questions?
Never, ever, ever lie.
Yes, never lie to the FBI.
Never lie to the FBI.
Because most likely they already know the answers.
Yes, exactly.
And you're just stacking felonies at that point.
Exactly.
So anyway, Elliot decides to press his luck. Elizabeth, he lies to the FBI. He says he doesn't know anything about any plot to blow up a bridge. In where? Africa, you say? He insists he's never heard of a bridge in Zambia. He doesn't even know about copper production. None of it. Then the FBI agents, they ask him about his recent travels to Israel, to England, to Zambia.
He's never heard of it.
Oh, you heard about that, huh? Okay, I've been there. Yeah, sure. Right? He says his recent travels are just part of the work he's been doing for a New York affiliate of a German metals firm. They're like, and you don't know about copper, sir? He's like, oh, I know a little bit. I mean, it is a metal. So the FBI's like, okay. Well,
that was a different division.
I know about accounting and bookkeeping. And so the FBI is like, well, sir, what brings you to the Miami area? More non-metals work?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the FBI knows he's in regular contact with the two Miami skin divers, Armstrong and Caudell, and the FBI knows he's in regular contact with another suspect, Rolf Dunbier, the VP for the German metals firm.
Right.
Elliot, though, doesn't know it, but his goose is well and fully cooked. Apparently, FBI agents go over to interview Armstrong and Caudell on November 4th, the next day. And this is like one day after the men first contacted the bureau and after the field agents have approached Elliot at his motel room. They're like, okay, give us the full story.
Yeah.
So on November 4th, in their interview, the two Miami skin divers inform the FBI that they want out of this international intrigue. They're like, this is not for us. We're way over our heads.
Sure.
We want it to stop, full stop. And they confess that after their Zambian visas were denied, they just assumed that all their activities had been known and that they quickly decided we're going to fully cooperate.
Yeah.
The FBI's like, smart move.
Exactly.
So the New York Times reported that the two wannabe saboteurs then tell the FBI that, quote, they returned the tickets to Zambia and expense money given them by Dunbier to Elliot and advised him that the bargain was off, that they intended to cooperate with the FBI.
Oh, so they really washed their hands. They're like, here's
Completely.
your money minus $10 that we spent on the hot dogs.
And gas money, yeah. And they tell their co-conspirator, we're going to the FBI.
Yeah,
and he still tries to play like, I don't know what you're talking
about.
about.
I don't know up from down.
So meanwhile, other FBI agents are busy speaking with Rolf Dunbier up in New York. And back to the New York Times reporting, he gave a similar explanation of Elliot's connection with the firm and stated Elliot was in Florida on business. He denied any knowledge of the alleged plan to sabotage the railroad bridge in Zambia. Zambia? What is Zambia? So when he's pressed on his lies, Dunbier decides to go full-on fabulous. He explains to the FBI field office that his and Elliot's travels to that country in August and September of '66 is being related to establishing representation for the corporation with industry and government officials. Dunbier explained that the chief business of the firm was trading in copper, and Zambia was one of the world's foremost producers of copper. They're like, so you do know what copper is.
All about this.
Now, it's not hard to imagine how this scene's playing out. He's like trying to be all innocent, but it's like, yeah, I'm often traveling to Africa since the region is resource rich. I mean, you Americans must know about how that goes. Right? Fully aware that the FBI is now onto him and his two amateur saboteurs have returned the money and now want nothing to do with the planned demolition job, Elliot doesn't stick around the Miami area. Instead, he flies up to New York to meet with Rolf Dunbier. Like, what are we going to do? How are we going to get this job done?
Yeah.
He's still fixated on it. His wife is gone. His co-conspirators are arrested. Doesn't matter how many people get arrested around him.
There's a bridge needs blowing up.
He is about it, right? But he's also, meanwhile, being followed by undercover FBI agents who tail him to his meeting at Dunbier's house.
Of course.
So this closes the circle for the FBI. They decide it's time to act before these two desperate idiots are able to draft any new amateur saboteurs into their Zambian plot.
Yeah.
The very next day, November 5th, Elliot, Dunbier, they get arrested by the FBI agents. The two men are charged with conspiring within the U.S. to destroy a railroad bridge in Zambia. After they're charged, both men are freed on bail, as it goes. And so now we have a full-on international plot of intrigue involving a German metals firm, Israeli security forces, the Zambian copper industry, a pair of Miami skin divers turned amateur saboteurs, and of course, Elliot and Dunbier. This story hits the headlines like a hammer dropped on your foot, right? On November 6th, the New York Times publishes a front-page story with the headline, FBI seizes 2 and charges plot on Zambia copper. 2 held in plot on Zambia copper. All caps, right? 2 days later, they run another story with the headline, New arrest tied to copper plot. U.S. attorney says Israel has seized 4 persons. That would be Elliot's wife and her band of saboteurs.
Yeah, her guys who know guys.
So at this point, the Israeli security forces are like, whoa, hey, leave us out, man. Why are you dragging us into the spotlight? So back to the Jacob Rader Marcus Center of the American Jewish Archives, Box 54, Folder 3. According to the archives, Israeli officials have intended to keep the story secret, but after the United States authorities revealed contacts between Israelis and Americans in the plot, the Israeli police revealed Israel's detective work against the alleged plotters. So they're like, look, man, we're going to have to embarrass y'all if you're going to embarrass us.
Yeah.
So as the story continues to unfold and claim victims, Elliot then asked for the charges against him to be dismissed. Wait till you hear what his grounds are for why he wants to dismiss the charges.
Oh, no.
Elizabeth, his lawyer argues that according to the Neutrality Act, what he did isn't technically a crime. To make his case, the lawyer tries to essentially embarrass the feds by citing the fact that the commandos from the Bay of Pigs fiasco were never charged. And this also is the same for a 1960s era plot to invade Haiti. And thus his client should also walk free. Don't charge them, can't charge him, right?
Amazing.
So the lawyer argues in court that his client's charges should be dismissed since, quote, no similar action had been taken by this country against participants in the Bay of Pigs attack on Cuba and the recent Haitian invasion plot. He added that his indictment was the first time in the 50-year history of the Neutrality Act that anyone had been charged with violating the pertinent section. He contended that the law was void because of its disuse. The judge in this case was like, no, that's not how that works.
Try again.
So in March of 67, he then appeals that. In March of 67, in the case United States versus Elliott, the Southern District of New York rules that, quote, defendant has requested this court to take judicial notice of various crises and acts in furtherance of international relations. The court cannot help being aware of the delicacy of American foreign relations, particularly in such areas as Africa. The offense charged, if consummated, clearly would have disrupted the economy of a nation. It is inconceivable that such an act, conceived in America and perpetrated by Americans, would not have seriously affected American relations with Zambia. The prevention of the deed and the prosecution of the culprits, if only to show the complete lack of any official complicity, makes such proceedings imperative, and it is well within the legitimate interests of the United States government.
Oh, yeah.
So read that as, we need to show Zambia we ain't down with this.
We have nothing to do with this.
These amateur saboteurs ain't CIA people because we're looking bad these days after the Bay of Pigs.
Yes.
And we can't have everyone thinking anytime somebody shows up who's an American who claims to be a freelance photographer, that the CIA is involved. So they're like, we have to throw the book at your guy. Sorry.
Yeah.
We were so bad at this stuff. We need to punish this guy who's worse than us. So the next month in April, his wife, Violet Elliott, gets sentenced in Israel to, quote, a year in prison on a charge of failing to inform police of an alleged plot to blow up a railway bridge in Zambia. That same month, April of 67, Rolf Dunbier pleads guilty as charged. He's like, look, I'm done.
Sure.
Right? I'm German. I'm going to be reasonable about this.
Why fight it?
But the next year, in May of 68, before he's sentenced, Dunbier dies in a car crash in New York.
Oh.
The 37-year-old Dunbier was driving at 5:30 in the morning when he allegedly lost control of his car on the Palisade Interstate Parkway and crashed into an abutment. Single car accident. Now, while his death may be suspicious, it was ruled a single car accident, and thus our 1% guarantee doesn't come into play.
That is true.
It was determined that Dunbier fell asleep at the wheel. Now, our researcher, Marissa, noted that in a local newspaper, there's this image of the wrecked car. And there's
kidding.
Neighborhood kids are playing around the wrecked car.
Oh, no.
And the caption of the photo states that the wrecked Roadrunner is at Bill's Sitco in Nonuyet, New York. Bill always puts major wrecks out in front of the shop.
Wait, so you could just go take a look, see?
Yeah, as Marissa noted, Bill, can you please explain? I was like,
Wait, the kids are playing around?
Totally. What's up with Bill displaying grisly car wrecks out in front of his shop?
Bill is honest about human nature.
Was he trying to get free advertising in the local paper, or is he like a vehicle safety nut and he just wanted to remind people to drive more safely?
Oh.
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
Why not both?
But Bill was about it, right? Anyway, back to Elliott, who's yet to be tried and sentenced. After his appeal to have his charges dropped is thrown out, eventually justice does get served. On June 17, 1968, Elliott pleads guilty. He offers to testify against the German metals firm if that'll help him out. And it's like they conceived of and paid for the Zambian plot.
Sure.
So this fella named Paul Lazarus, who works with Friedrich Zollner, he was also tangentially involved in the planning and the machinations of the early phases. He works at the German metals firm, so he gets indicted and tried. And since Rolf Dunbier is dead, they're like, well, let's move on to Paul Lazarus.
Yeah,
so
Paul Lazarus.
In November of 68, Lazarus stands trial. 1 week later, he's found guilty. And he's sentenced to nothing.
Oh.
Instead, he's fined $3,500.
Oh, okay.
The German metals firm...
Do you know how much dynamite you can buy with it?
That's a
lot.
boatloads.
Exactly.
So the German metals firm, they received the sort of justice that we might expect from a modern corporation. The firm gets acquitted of any responsibility in the Zambian plot because how could they know what our employees are doing?
That's right.
So meanwhile, as thanks for his cooperation with the feds, Elliott gets sentenced to 1 year in jail. But he's also given a suspended sentence and he's placed on probation for a term of 3 years. So he never really, other than being held while waiting for trial, that's it.
Sure.
And that, Elizabeth, is the end of the Zambian plot. So I got to ask you, what's our ridiculous takeaway here?
Oh, my goodness. I like to think that when opportunities come my way, I'll take them. Just like, hey, like, be open, take the blinders off.
Sure.
But I think that we need to be selective when those opportunities come our way. And so just because something cool, like, hey, you want to go to Zambia? All right.
Yes. You want to blow something up in Zambia?
I got nothing holding me here. No. To think a little bit more about it. Zaron, what's your ridiculous takeaway?
I would have been a mess in the 60s if I was around these guys, like hanging out with these people like E. Howard Hunt types who were like...
The 60s and 70s, you would have been... I would be telling stories about you on this podcast right now.
If I had one of those like heart attack guns that they held up in the church hearings, or like the ability to get on flights and go to like former colonial Africa as like a CIA plant, working against my people, I would have just been
How do we know
mess.
You're not a CIA plant now?
Good point.
That is a good point.
Persuading young minds and influencing the nations.
Prickly with good points.
Well, you in the mood for a talk back to wash us all down?
I am always in the mood for a talk back.
Oh my God, did he just say that?
OMG.
Regina, gentleman host Dizzy, the Pizza Connection episode reminded me that back in the 1980s, my stepmother's brother was the big family success with all of his coin-operated car washes. And in fact, I almost went to work for him managing several locations. Turned out the real success was as a drug trafficker throughout Southern California, and those were not for washing cars, but for washing money. That's how I almost joined the cartel.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
Teenage cartel member.
That's incredible.
You missed out, dude.
Dude, always be suspicious of a family member who runs car washes, coin-operated laundromats. These are just money laundering operations.
Yeah.
No matter what anyone tells you.
I know.
But, dude, that's a great story. Thank you for sharing with us. That is straight up ridiculous
Thank you
crime.
for squealing.
Averted.
Yeah.
Well, as always, you can find us online, Ridiculous Crime. We got the social medias. Was it Blue Sky, Instagram?
Sure.
I think that's what the interns told me last. Mm-hmm. We also have our account, Ridiculous Crime Pod on YouTube. Go check it out. We got videos. Please leave comments. We love those. Like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. We have our website, ridiculouscrime.com, which was recently nominated for the Dolly Parton Impersonator of the Year Award.
Oh, really?
Which I didn't even know we were up for, but
it's stiff competition.
Yeah, now just for the makeup alone. I didn't know we had that kind of budget we were given to the makeup.
Sparkle Shop, Mr. Andre, they work hard.
They really do. And we don't ask much of them, so they have time on their hands.
Very true.
Also, we love your talkbacks, obviously. So go to the iHeart app, download it, leave a talkback. We'd love to hear your voice here. Maybe you would enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
And email us if you like at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. We love your emails too.
Yes.
Those are often very fun. And we've been meaning to get into the mailbag. We may do like a mailbag episode. Who knows? Yeah. So there you go. That's all I got for you this time. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you next crime. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton, that's her, and Zaron Burnett,
that's me.
They're produced and edited by our man in Zambia, Dave Kustin, and starring Annalise Rucker as Judith. Research is by vehicular safety enthusiast Marissa Brown and Jabari Davis. Our theme song is by our house band, Who Will Bless the Rains Down in Africa, aka Thomas Lee and Travis Dutton. The host's wardrobe provided by Body 500. Guest hair and makeup by Sparkle Shot and Mr. Andre. Executive producers are mid-century international men of mystery and part-time amateur saboteurs Ben Bolin and Noel Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.